Hi, everybody. This is Tom with Culture Chat. So, today I want to talk about costumes on the cheap. So, I'm wearing a shirt that I was told was very inappropriate for this channel because it's too pink. I think it's fine, but it is very busy. So, I'm finding that a lot of people in the United States are doing the Addams Family musical. I love the Addams Family. So, I often, which is known among my friends and probably around the public as well, the thing is, I don't know why my friends always complain to me, but they do ask for ideas, and I'm a little older than they are, so I have some ideas. So I think that the problem with my one friend is that they're running out of budget for the ancestors. And he believes that everything in the ancestors has to be white, 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 which is strange because they're just kind of faded. They're the chorus members, and they have to do a lot. And the thing is about the ancestors is it's about silhouette, and it's not about exactly what you think that costume should be. The great thing is that you can cast anyone of any age, and you can just deem the costume that you find the best price on. Now, as I'm getting to my point, I want to tell you about places where you can get costumes, good ones, on the cheap. But the ancestors, before I leave that topic, they don't carry weapons. It's the Addams family. When it says pilgrim, they're not the prissy, perfect pilgrim that you're thinking. They're Addams. They dress well, but they're a little different. Be a little different. And white, white, white with white hair and white makeup that's kabuki style makeup just doesn't work. Break it up. Break it up. Like this plaid is broken up with other colors. Break it up. So there's a white costume, that's your base, but add in tan and gray and so forth and stop covering the face and not the hands and the chest and the legs with no makeup. It can't just be white face and nothing else. That doesn't make sense. It should make a little sense in the Addams family. You shouldn't have things that jump out against you. Now, he's going to get mad at me. I did say, instead of like nurse, go-go girl, and all this stuff that is kind of like the men are fully dressed, but the women are half dressed in miniskirts and a tight nurse's outfit, that's not really the story and the point. And the Addams family is not the place to put like what you consider sexy in. Okay, it's not that show. So give them stuff to do. The silhouette. Maybe you have a pilgrim. Maybe you have a Marie Antoinette type. Maybe she's wearing half the dress. Okay, but you give her white stockings or gray stockings or light brown stockings or light pink stockings. Cover her up. Cover up the things that we don't want to see, or add to the costume strange layers. You can tear up some sheets and put strange layers over them to cover up where they don't want to wear makeup. Okay? It's hard to wear makeup on your hands and do all the stuff the chorus needs to do in that show. Okay? They're not carrying weapons. They're not really wearing hats. It's not about hats. They've got a lot to do. I did suggest a caveman, which is great, but he was carrying a club. He hired a friend of ours who is just naturally big. He's Swedish. And he's just naturally big and blonde and so forth. And they just lightened up his hair a little bit and put some additions in. Well, he looks like Bam Bam with a giant club. Avoid that. These are background characters, the chorus characters. Make them interesting, make them mobile. They have to dance, and don't stick so close to what you think that stereotype of that kind of character is. There's no weapons. Try to avoid weapons on your shows when you can. We don't need them on stage. We get it. Now, I want to recommend for the United States renting from my former company, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. And I'm saying this globally. The Oregon Shakespeare Festival is the largest rotating repertory in the United States. There's others that are very close to it size-wise. It's also the oldest. And they have a great costume department, costume rental department. Everything's online, or everything close to it is being online, so you can look through the files and see what you want. Now, they send things out all over the country all the time. So they are regularly costuming skits on Saturday Night Live. That's weekly. So they're on top of things. And I know you're thinking, oh, I'm not in the United States, or I'm in France, or I'm in England, or I'm in Buenos Aires. There are large companies, whether they're ballets or operas. Really, operas have a lot of stuff because they always have a lot of money. Operas and large companies, especially Shakespearean companies, that have to have quite a variety of eras in their stock. Okay? And they all seem to have programs like the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, where depending on your level of theater, there's a sliding scale of cost. So if you were a community theater or just below equity theater in the United States, you can get very good deals from the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Now, if he was needing costumes or costume pieces to outfit these ancestors in the Addams family, there are lots of pieces you can rent. A neck ruff, a slip, a kimono, separate things that you can use in this show for your dancing, running around, jumping around chorus. You don't have to rent a whole outfit. There are pieces, accessories. If you want to have them wear hats and helmets, they've got great ones. Okay? All these companies have the same. Look through their stock, choose carefully, call them, email them, tell them what level of theater you are at, where you are, and get a quote. It's always a rough quote because you're probably adding in more stuff when you hear that great price, and it probably will be a great price. These things from these companies are made extremely well, so they're good for chorus members that are doing a lot of action, doing a lot of dancing, doing a lot of singing. They're very good, and there's a lot more of these companies out there. Times are tough in the theater, in entertainment, live entertainment. So if you think, oh, I called them 5 years ago and it was too expensive, call them again. See what the price is now. Maybe you want separates. Maybe you have stuff already and you just need to add quality accessories, pieces, vests, pants, skirts to it. You can rent separates, okay? So think of them more globally. Think of them as larger reach than just the small area that you're in. They're all shipping costumes out to different companies. They're in business to do this, and they're in business to help small theaters, because people who start at small theaters or go to small theaters or go to any of the theaters, they remember and they rent again. So it behooves them to have these inexpensive rates for your level of theater, whether it's university, school, community theater, just below equity, or union theater in different areas. They all have things. Now you need to dry clean them before you send them back. They usually have a program where they dry clean them for you, which is an added cost because they have to do all the handling. Just find your best dry cleaner in your area and you do it before you send it back. Find an ecologically friendly dry cleaner. You don't want to add chemicals to these costumes. And check out the dry cleaner and say, I have very unusual things, whether they have sequins or feathers or this or that or buckles. I want to know that you know how to do costumes. It's usually the wedding dress people. The ones who are experts in that are usually the expert dry cleaners I have seen. But go in and talk to them and be real serious. Bring in pictures and say, these things are rented. I don't want to replace it. Are you sure your machines and the way you clean is going to work on this piece, or is it too complex with all the stuff on it to do that? Okay? And during the run of your show, if you don't know already, use vodka spritzing to get rid of the smell. Cheap vodka mixed into a plant mister, not a plant mystery, a plant mister will get rid of the smell and keep them clean. Okay? There's a lot of good costumes out there on the cheap, and you can do what you want because it's a fantasy show. Imagine those ancestors, you're running out of money, you've got stuff in stock that'll work, but it's not white. Okay. Change it up. Make your own theme. They need to look uniform, but not exactly the way you've seen them in the Broadway photographs. Sorry about my nose. Hay fever. In the winter, that's not good. Make them your own style and don't break the bank just for these chorus things. Make them interesting. Because remember, you probably have to spend money on cheap, inexpensive white wigs. Cheap. Now, white wigs you can get on Amazon or whatever in your country, and they're not too expensive. 10 pounds, 15 euro, $10, whatever you want, because they probably won't last very long with the action these characters have to do. But you never know, okay? There's a lot of good costumes out there. I think this is a great musical. A lot of you should do it. It may just be a favorite in the Americas, in North and South America and Central America. We're really attached to the Addams Family. I don't know about other countries besides our section of the world, but it's a good one. You might like it. And you can always do things, anything in the theater, if you put a little creativity and ingenuity into what will work for your show. So it's not exactly the way it looks on Broadway or the West End or wherever. Do your own thing. Get close. You got the concept. That's the kind of thing. Good costumes on the cheap. All right, I'm going to link the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in there. I hesitate to do this with other theaters across the globe because you can find your area and you can talk to them the way you want to and see what works for you. But you can see how the Oregon Shakespeare Festival does their layering of pricing, and that'll give you a better sense to do your research. Okay. All right. Thank you. Like and subscribe. I'm getting a lot of likes, but not a lot of subscribers. Tons and tons of views. A lot of views, but not a lot of subscribers. Please subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Okay. That's enough for today. Thank you, and we'll talk again.